Hello, everybody. I'm Adrian Robledo with Diamond Realty, and today I'm your host for KDY TV, and we're doing Good Morning Fillmore. And I am joined with Ernie Villegas, and Ernie Villegas is the Special Projects Manager for the City of Fillmore. He's also responsible, well, what that entails is he's part of the economic development for Fillmore, and he's the Principal of the Public Affairs with more than 30 years experience in local government. I know, Ernie, too, you're the former previous mayor. Is that correct, Ernie?
That's true. I was the mayor back in 2004, 5, and 6.
All right, yeah. And you sit on various boards here in Fillmore, don't you?
I do. That's one of the things that when you're in the public affairs arena and you want to devote your time and energy to your communities, you belong. You take a leadership role and you get involved.
That's right. That's what I love about Fillmore, too. Everyone coming together, every single business owner here in town, just getting together and see how we can support each other's back. Alrighty. Well, Ernie, I know you're a big part of what we're doing here at Good Morning Fillmore with KDTV. And do you want to tell us a little bit about your interest and your involvement on bringing that here to Fillmore?
Yes, yeah, thank you. I certainly am excited about the opportunity to bring a program, an idea, if you will, this concept into Fillmore. And the reason is the fact that over the years, our world has been getting smaller and smaller.
Yes.
And all of the new technologies that you have, we are a product of information that's 24 hours, 7 days a week. And it's right there in our hands, our phones, and when you take a look at what's going on, even little kids are constantly just getting on the internet, going on social media. In the world, it just becomes, this one area. But
Yeah.
what we missed is that local events of what's going on. We got away from the fact that we are local community. There's things that are going on right outside of our doorsteps every day. And you can see that. You can see that in Fillmore, where everyone is looking things from a global perspective, and we're kind of missing the boat. We're missing the day-to-day activities of what's happening in the world here in our communities.
Yeah, and I know especially, well, Fillmore being a small town on its own, but we also have the Heritage Valley Tourism Bureau here in Fillmore, and that's a huge involvement. I know Fillmore goes through things almost day to day with different events. Feels like it.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing about the media and what you hear, social media and otherwise, there's a lot of spin. There's things that are going on there, and sometimes you don't know what's the truth. Sometimes you're not really quite sure if we're really basing things on fact, or maybe it's someone's agenda. So looking at what we can do here in our community, a good friend of mine, Bob Allen, has KDY TV television, and he's been instrumental in reaching out to the communities here in Ventura County over the last few years. And at least 20 years he's been involved in this, if not more. But I've first met Bob years ago when I was with Edison, and then I was working for our assemblyman. And Bob was already in the forefront of developing these programs in Ventura County. And he's utilized KDY TV to work with the Oxnard College and the high schools, and Santa Paula is another example of doing some sports broadcasting.
Right.
So the concept for us, Adrian, was, well, let's see if we can do something here in Fillmore that makes it perhaps a test, if you will, that we can actually engage our community by being able to go ahead and have a trusted source of information that's based on local activities, based on what's happening, so we get to know our town better, we get to know the community better.
Right. And I like that you really use the word trusted. That shows a really big important thing that we're going after here. And it's just, in this day and age, what we're living today, it's so easy to get persuaded by the media, whether it's going one way or the other. And you could even look up, I found it fascinating in high school and in college that every time we had to cite our sources, that we had to look up that source where it came from, whether it was Wall Street Journal or Fox News or CNN. We had to Google left or right next to it, and there was this huge big graph on the lobbyists and where they put them. So the fact that we want to implement a trusted source, not influenced by anyone, but just getting the word out there in a professional manner. I love that for our community.
You hit it right on the nail, Adrian. That's a perspective that goes across all dynamics of generations. I'm 70 years old. You're in your 20s, your mid 20s. We both look at this as this awakening, if you will, and the opportunity for us to reach out to our local communities, our local people, find out what's going on, find out where we can be of service. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is to share some of the ideas, some of the visions that we have that will make Good Morning Fillmore such a wonderful, valuable asset for people, and also be able to provide some information that we can share with everybody else.
Right. Yeah, and let's talk about that. Most definitely.
Okay, great.
And I know one of the things for Good Morning Fillmore, this is a startup right now. This is our second episode that we're doing. And, down the line, people are going to be wondering, how are we selecting our candidates to interview? Who are we going to be interacting with? Who are we going to be bringing on? Yeah. And that's just, something that's going to be up for debate. And I'm curious about, too, for our future.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really good, because Good Morning Fillmore really starts with our community.
Right.
But I see it morphing into a region where we're bringing Piru and Santa Paula, and we become a united voice for things that are very important to us. So we can reach out to our elected officials, we can reach out to the communities and say, what do we have? What are we missing? How can we all work together and establish our communities as a force here in Ventura County? So it really starts with having an idea, a concept, and that's where Bob and myself started talking about, well, what is it going to look like? Well, number one, there are certain factors that we want to explore in our communities. One is our education system. We have a Fillmore Unified School District that reaches out to both Fillmore and Santa Paula and outlying areas, and
and Christine, I just want to mention Christine on our previous episode, our first episode. An amazing job. She does an amazing work over there as a superintendent for Fillmore.
Right. And she's also committed to this concept as well. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to reach out to each individual schools. I think there's like 10 schools out here that are elementary schools, and they're the high school, the middle schools, but providing updates and being able to share those updates. So we may have a principal at Piru Elementary School that may come up and talk a little bit about what they're doing. And then the following week or the next time, we may have somebody from Rio Vista, or we may have somebody from the high school or the middle school, but they're able to go ahead and share, what they're doing, updates, and then also people can provide input to them. So there's that two-way communication.
Right. Almost like a chain of command.
Absolutely. So in this particular case, we're working with the schools, that we become much closer as a community, because we're now understanding on a week-to-week basis of what's happening, and social media that really helps. But social media also has so many other activities that you could glaze over it. This program here, it's going to be focused on a subject. It's going to be focused on information that is right then and there.
Oh yeah.
And it's accurate. It's coming from the people who actually are doing it. So that's one aspect of it is the schools. And by the way, one of the things that we like to do on the education part is to reach out to high school students. And if they're looking at having training and video productions and doing that, let's board. Let's give them that internship to make that a very successful and enjoyable experience.
Right. Well, I think eventually, if they start playing these education updates in the high school, that we can even bring on colleges to talk about their school. and they can play that to the high schools all around the county.
If I'm not mistaken, when you were at university, you were very much interested in actually starting your own program and doing some things in the media. Is that correct?
Yes, I was a part of a couple different programs, but that was definitely one.
Yeah, and I think that's that enthusiasm, that's that interest. So here we have you that's from Fillmore, that grew up here, went to college, found a niche that you really like to do and try to pursue it, and then here we are bringing you in to to be our host and build on programs, which I think is great.
Oh yes, I'm truly very blessed with everything that God's given me. And I know I've been talking with Bob Allen about having my own podcast, my own YouTube channel, and that's going to be a lot for Generation Z. So the YouTube channel is going to be called X to Z TV, and it's from talking everything from Generation X to Z, bringing people on, talking about the differences, the job differences, the education difference, even the lifestyle differences. A lot of Generation X went to the school of hard knocks, so there's a lot to be learned.
And see, what better way of being able to implement this concept where we have people that are youth, are young people, being able to go ahead and talk to each other, develop programs. And on my end of the world, we've got a lot of people here in our communities that are reaching into their retirement areas, into their golden age, if you will. And it'd be great for them to tune in and be able to find out what's going on, what's happening in the programs that are going on here, where they can help volunteer. We have so many organizations out here that go from helping little kids to having services for the community, help people that need, looking for opportunities to provide, for the good of our community, and that's why I'm saying on some things of that nature. But
we're also diversification.
But we're having new businesses that are going to be coming in. So we're looking at a concept called Meet the Boss, and Meet the Boss being where we reach out to the Fillmore Association of Business as an example, which is a business organization here that can go to its members and say, look, we'd like to do a story on your business. So we go out there and we'll have an episode where someone can talk about what they do. So, and this goes across from, having Nova Storage to an antique store to, a new Mexican restaurant, or, we have the grocery outlet that's just going to open up here next week, Wingstop. So all of these different areas where we can actually have that particular entity come in and talk about what they do and showcase their business.
Right. And I think you being in economic development and me being in real estate, I mean, we both know, and we've talked about this previously, that Fillmore's greenbelt protected. Yeah. So once Fillmore's developed and expanded, it's developed and expanded. There's no more. And I think that's the beautiful thing about Fillmore, is that it will never overpopulate to become this huge town. So it always has that small town feeling. But being in real estate and as a business person, that's also, great to hold on to that asset. It's like gold right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the real estate arena is vital. In the next, I've been saying this for a few years, and it's really true, and we're seeing it. We're having some growth that's happening here in Fillmore. It's good control growth because we have affordable housing that we're putting on one end, and we have some middle income type housing that's coming in on the bridges and other areas, including condos and townhouses. And the town is only going to grow just X amount because of these greenbelt ordinances around us. Right. But it has to be the right way, and you have to have a balance. And so you have to have housing. You have to have good education, and people are coming in, and they're coming in from other parts of the state, in other cities like LA and the San Fernando Valley, Santa Clarita. They're going to come to this town, and they're going to want more. They're going to want to. Would be great. It'd be great to have not a coffee shop, but a coffee house. Would it be great to have wine tasting? Wouldn't it be great to have a brewery or a place where we could all come together and socialize?
Right. Well, I know, is Red Engine coming?
It's coming. That's what I'm hearing. Now, wouldn't that be cool that we have our
Yeah.
And I would love to have, for an example, Ken Wiseman, who has a vineyard in Peru, is interested in cultivating and maybe putting a couple little wine stores. Wouldn't it be great that we put
Oh, yeah.
Fillmore?
I would love to see downtown Fillmore like that. And I know you've been to Providence, Rhode Island, which is where I love it. I don't know if you had a chance to go to Federal Hill, the old town Providence.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and I could totally see Fillmore doing that, just with the light posts and the lamps on the street, and oh my gosh, yeah, we're bringing a lot of tourism.
Well, actually, we have a group of people, and Fab, Renee Swenson, and a few others come together, and they're taking a look at what we need to do to partner and raise enough of the monies and be able to improve our downtown, but also bring the kind of industry that we need, business industry.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, even things for the youth to do, like a bowling alley or skating rink.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. One of the things that people don't realize, and this is from my experience in working in all these different communities from Santa Barbara to Ventura to the LA County areas, people will have ideas and they'll come up before a city and they'll say, we need to have a target here because we got to travel everywhere. But what they don't realize is that these corporations, these companies, they look at population. They look
Right.
at the financial stability of their business. And in many cases, small towns like ours, we're not large enough to be able to have a Kmart or to have a Walmart or have a Target or anything like that.
Yeah.
And we won't have, big, huge restaurants that'll come in that are corporate type. So we really have to rely on this, on the small town, but the small town that grows the right way. And
But I'll have to say, for other restaurants and places like that, they're missing a huge opportunity on the 126. There's tons and tons of traffic on there. So if they're to find a shop right off the 126.
Yeah, 126 is the place where we will have the revenue sources that we need in our community. That's where we get the sales revenue and the property tax revenues when you have industry or businesses there. Downtown is a different story. Downtown is going to be small mom and pops type facilities. And so what you need to do is draw people into the downtown area and make it unique. So that's the challenge is, can we get people in here that would want to open up a coffee house or want to do a wine tasting, and then can we market it? Well, what better market it than to use our social media and to use our KEDY TV that can go on YouTube, that can go on all these other social media entities in our community. KEDY TV can go on the city council social media page, the web page, and go to the Heritage Valley Tourism Bureau. It can go into all the service organizations like the Rotary and FAB and all of those. So it starts to expand. And pretty soon we send KEDY TV, Good Morning Fillmore, to Santa Clarita, to the Valley, to LA.
Right.
On to Fillmore. Destination Fillmore is where you want to be because this is who we are. This is what we have.
Oh, yeah.
That's the idea. And that's why I'm saying the real estate market, you guys are so vital and important because you guys are representative of who we are. You guys deal with commercial, industry, residential, and then you're involved in your community leadership and all of those things. That is vital. So we have to have our real estate be part of that partnership, and we have to have the city be part of that.
Right.
We have to have our churches and our schools, all of that. So the vision that I have is let's go ahead and get a place that people can trust, that people can come in and say, yes, we want to have more information, we want to provide input, and we want to see what's going on in our community through KEDY TV.
I can see us even having a studio off of downtown.
I would love to have that. I would love to have that. In the old days, we used to have programs where you would have community events and you'd have American Bandstand. People come in and start dancing, and then they would show it.
Oh, yeah.
we can come back to that, with the new generation, with music and everything else. Why not?
Well, if we put speakers all along the downtown, we could broadcast our show. Good morning, Fillmore.
There you go. And you could be the host. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I really want to just let everybody know that the Good Morning Fillmore is hopefully a concept that will remain and will be a valuable place for people to come and get updates, participate, and hopefully we can grow this so it would be an entity that would be sustainable and will go on for a long time.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that happening. Well, Ernie, I know you're a busy man, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for us. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day for this interview, and it seems like we got a lot of work to cover, but it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a great adventure.
Adrian, it's a pleasure, and it's nice having you on board. And I look forward to working with you, and let's make this happen.
Yeah, I always tell everyone too, Ernie Villegas is Fillmore personified. That guy, he's involved in so much here.
Yeah, I'm getting old. I need people like you to join in now.
Well, I'm here to help. Just let me know what you need.
Okay. Well, thanks again, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about Good Morning Fillmore.
Not a problem. Really happy to be a part of it. Thank you, Ernie, and thank you for everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.